Now we're going to talk about our mode dial and all the different modes and what they do and how you can change up stuff with those different options that the camera gives you. So to start off, of course, manual mode. Manual mode allows you to alter everything you could possibly want to alter. Your white balance, your ISO, your shutter speed, your aperture. It's great. Most professionals kind of live in manual mode, and because we just want all the control we can possibly have. Underneath manual mode, you have your aperture priority mode. It's just A in Nikon, and so that is great. It's a great way to kind of venture in to controlling your picture and your image look a little bit more. What it does is allows you to set your aperture, and then the camera picks all your other settings for you. So you can also pick your ISO within the setting, or you can leave it on auto, and your camera will select the shutter speed and select the other option and the ISO for you, so that you can just focus on getting that depth of field look that you want for your picture. And if you don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about aperture, ISO, or shutter speed, definitely go check out our videos. We'll put them up, a link right here, and you can go ahead and click and learn all about those things and how they affect your photos, so that you can take exactly the style of picture you want. Underneath your aperture priority mode, you have an S, which stands for shutter speed priority mode, which does the exact same thing as aperture priority, but for your shutter speed. So when you want to slow your shutter speed down or pick it up, but you don't want to think about your other settings, go ahead and select that, and it'll work really, really well for you. Your P setting is program mode. So it is kind of like in the middle of all of those. It'll make sure to select your settings and get your exposure right. You have a little bit of control over aperture and shutter speed. It's like getting you into manual a little bit. You can have a few programmed settings figured out that you go to, and then the camera will select to make sure your exposure is right within the programmed options that you choose. Underneath that is just your full auto, full point and shoot. You don't want to think about anything. You just want to point and click, and there it goes. The camera will do everything for you. Sometimes it works, and other times there's certain lighting situations where you will be extremely frustrated and auto won't work for you. So it's good to learn about these other settings so that you can change things up. And then underneath that, you have your full auto minus flash. So if you're not wanting your flash to pop up, it's a low light situation, but you kind of like the way it looks without the flash, you can go ahead and select that, and you won't have to worry about your other settings, and your flash won't pop up. You can rotate the dial, and then you get to your scene selection. So all of these here underneath your scene button are different scenes that you might want to get to quickly. But with this camera, there's like a whole bunch of other scene options that it gives you. And so let's look at them. So when you go ahead and you're ready to take your picture on your LCD screen, when you're in scene mode, there will be a little picture over here, and it'll tell you what that is. If you rotate your dial, you can switch between all these different scenes. So you have food, you have night portrait, you have night landscape, party/indoor, beach, snow, sunset, dusk dawn, animal portrait, candlelight, blossom, autumn colors, and then you're back to food. So you have a bunch of options, and those will change all sorts of different settings within the camera, but leave you in an auto mode that has a little bit more of a stylized look for what you might be looking for. So just play around with them and see what they do, how they affect your picture, and see what you like and what you might want to use. So the scenes underneath that you might want to get to more quickly are just your simple portraiture one, your landscape one, your kid one, sports, and macro. So all of those are pretty self-explanatory. Macro just means close up. So if you're taking pictures of flowers or insects or whatever it happens to be, your macro is going to be useful. Next, you have an effects section, and you change your effect the same way you change your scene with your dial over here, and you can look in the back, and there's a bunch of different ones, different effects you might want to use. So you have low key and high key. You have silhouette, selective color, miniature effect, color sketch, night vision, low key, Oh, and we're back to Loki. All of those effects also work in movie mode if you want to play with the movie mode and your effects a little bit. So that is the mode dial and what all of those different things do. And I would just encourage you to play around with them and see how they change and what it does for your pictures. Hey guys, thanks for watching the Nikon D5100 videos. Please check us out on Facebook on the links below in the description. You can check out David D Images, the Media Unlocked Facebook, and my studio's Facebook at Spotlight Photo. Have a good one. Bye.